Alright, first thing we're going to do is you're going to get your laptop, Toshiba in this case. I don't know if this is exactly the same thing as what you got, but, hopefully it's close to it. It is a satellite. In this case, let's see what we got on the back here. So this is a, probably not even going to be close, but it's you'll get the basic gist of it, of how to do it. First of all, what we're gonna do is, whoops, not drop the camera. You're just gonna start on the bottom of the laptop, as I was explaining here. Take off all the panels first. You don't have to. I mean, this is just the way I do it. It's gonna be really difficult doing it one-handed. Just pop these off. These have little things on the bottom of them, so they keep the screws intact, so you don't have to worry about those. Set them off to the side. Sometimes the screws come out, like in this case where the screws coming off the panel. So what I would do is, the phone will sit there. Take the screw like this, and then just kind of put it inside the tape. And what I do is I take the tape and I fold it over the screw, but hold the ends, so you get like this little two tabs that were sticky, and the tape sits up the top like a like a tab, so you'll be able to get the piece of tape and the screw off the laptop when you go to put the laptop back together again. So you just hold on a second. Alright, so like I was saying before I got rudely interrupted there, just go around the whole bottom of the laptop, and basically wherever you see a hole, make sure that there's a screw there. Undo the screw. I use a magnetic screwdriver to pull the screw out, and every single one I tape it up like it was showing you, clip, and just put it over to where it goes, and basically go around the whole computer and do that all the way around. So I'm going to stop the video so this video doesn't end up being too big, and basically take all the screws out and just tape them into where they go across the bottom. Once I get that all straightened out, I will then resume the video so you can see what's going on. Alright, as you can see, I got all the screws off the bottom of this thing. I just also wanted to make sure, I mentioned there's usually a spot where you can grab the CD-ROM out, and just kind of reach from the back, push it out. Sometimes you can have to go in from the front and just grab it out. I did find 3 more screws there. I didn't pull out yet, and I did that for a reason. I just wanted to make sure that I told you guys about that. So make sure that you take those screws out of there as well. And sometimes there's screws in the back, like here and here, which you can't really see. Make sure you also grab those out too. And I'm gonna pause the video, take those out, and then I'll show you the rest. All right, so we got all those screws out. I just taped them above where they go. The screws taped here, even though the screw was down here, just so I have an idea of where they're supposed to go. So once you get those out, you can literally just flip the laptop over, open it up, and then there's this little plastic piece that goes right above the keyboard, right here. What you want to do is you want to find the center of that. There's a little bit of a glare on this because it's the type of keyboard it is. And you want to see this little, tab right there. It's part of the keyboard, and you can usually you can take the screwdriver and kind of go underneath the plastic piece, right in the middle, and raise that up, just like that, just enough where you can usually grab it once you get the screwdriver under it, something like that. And then once you grab it, you can pull the back part of it up, and it pulls it right out, just like that. Just go slow. There's little tabs on the end sometimes. They're really small, like this. There is actually a tab on the end of this. Can't really see it though, can you? Anyways, you don't want to break that off. If you break that off, it won't stick back on, and you'll have to find another way to fasten it down to the laptop. But once you get that piece off, it exposes these screws here above the keyboard, and there's 4 of them all the way across. So let me get those all taken out, and then show you how to take the rest of it apart underneath the keyboard. Alright, so now those 4 screws are out, so the the keyboard will literally just lift right up. Don't go too quick. There is a ribbon cable that's attached to it. Alright, so then on these here, don't yank on it, because you will pull the tabs completely off the motherboard, and you'll be looking at a motherboard replacement, and that's a little bit probably more than what you want to do today. These little brown things on either side that are holding that ribbon cable in. So what you want to do is you want to take the screwdriver and just kind of push it up, just like that, on both sides. Just get under it, lift it up. As soon as it's lifted up on both sides, then that's when you just take that little ribbon cable right out. So it should be pretty simple. Once that's out, you're now kind of looking at part of the guts of what's going on here. And in this case, I'm just looking for any screws that are around. I don't see any. So it looks like we should just be able to lift this touchpad right off. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to kind of go around and take some of these little cables off. I just lifted the connection out, and then I'm just going to kind of give it a little bit of pressure there. Kind of pull that, make sure it gets out of there. And then on these types of connections here, these little stereo and stuff like that, how I usually do them is you want to make sure that you can just go on either side and slowly, teeter-totter it back until it just pops out. Same thing on this one down there underneath the thing. Don't want to apply too much pressure, because you don't want to be breaking the connections, and that's something you'd have to pay for if you broke it. And so disconnect the wireless if you'd like. Basically going around and just checking any kind of connections. That looks like that's about it for now. To get those all done, what you're going to do is you're going to just lift this touchpad piece. There we go. Go slow, just in case, because sometimes you might have a cable, like in this case, which I do here. Alright, so this guy. That one there. Let this thing focus. That's a different type of connection. In this case, what you want to do is just take that plastic piece and lift it up, just like that. And then this little thing just pulls right out. Try to lift it off again. That touchpad comes right off. Set that somewhere. Alright, and then pretty much you'll have your hinges exposed right here. This is all your hinge on that side, and then back here on this side. Want to tighten those up as much as possible, and then once those are tight, you can then put the laptop back together. If it's if they're stripped out, or like I said, if the grommet pieces are ripped off, you can hot glue them down. And if you do decide to glue them down, I just would recommend putting the touchpad down as quickly as possible, so it kind of molds the glue in between the two pieces. And the hot glue thing I was telling you about is this guy. You stick the glue in the back and let it heat up, and just pull the trigger. Basically put it wherever you want. So that's it. And then once you get that all tightened up and stuff, it's pretty much putting it back together at that point. So you're just gonna undo, or redo everything you just did undid. So that's it, man. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave a comment and I'll do the best I can to help you out. That goes for anybody. Have a good one.